Hello, welcome back. In this session, we are going to look at how to gain access to the system as a teacher, how to select a particular course to administer, and look at few initial setup which you have to do at every beginning of the period, which is the period registration and the student registration. So I will log in with my teacher account and my password. Now, as a teacher, when you log in, it takes you to the teacher gateway. However, in some instances, if you have not already logged in previously, then you would have to either switch to the teacher gateway, or it will present you the subject selection directly. So to switch, you click on the switch button up here, and then you select course. This will show you the list of courses which has been assigned to you as a teacher. Now I would select Social Studies Basic 1, and that brings me to the teacher gateway. Now, two things you need to take note of is the name of the subject, which is down here, and then the current period, which is down here. Now you can see that it says no period selected. This means that I've not selected any period, and that also accounts for why a lot of options are missing from the gateway. So to select a period or to switch your period, you go to setups and then you go to switch period. Now when I try to switch, it says no data available. This is because I've not created any period. So I would go back and then go to period registration, which is where you create a period. So by period we mean whether first term, second term, third term, or those who uses semester based period. You have first semester, second semester, etc. So I will go to period registration, click on create, and then I'll fill in the form, the course period creation form. So I'll create my first term 2022 period. So that's the name I want to give to the period, and down here you select or you map it to the correct. So this is first term 2022, so that is this one here, which I would select. Now this drop down list is something which is created by the school admin. So in case the period you want is not in, you can contact your school admin about this. So I select first term, and down here I will select which assessment type I want to use. So this is also configured by the admin, and it's only one, so I will select that. The same for your grading, it's only one, but in case you have multiple grading, you select which one you want to use. So this is it for creating the period. You fill in this and then you click on the save button, you confirm, and then I've created the period. Now once the period is created, the next thing now is to go back to so still from the gateway we go to setups, and this time around we use the switch period. So we can come here and then select the period we want to work in. So we just created first term, you go to save, and then we accept it. Now once that is done, we come back to the gateway, and this time it's not just setup, but we also have student. So that brings us to the second setup, which is the student registration. Now, to register the student, until you select a term or a period, the student icon will not appear. So in case it hasn't appeared, it means that you've not selected any period, and you can verify by looking at the footnote here. So I go to student, and it opens the student register for me. The student register is made up of two parts: the registered student, and if you scroll down, you have the available student. Normally, your registered student will initially be empty. An available student will contain the list of students in your class. What you need to do is to select students who would be registered for this period, or for this term, or for the selected term. Now we do that by either selecting them one by one, or we can use the checkbox up here to select all of them, or unselect them. So I will select all of them, and once you've selected your student you want to register, you click on this button here which says register selected. So I click, and it moves them from the available students to the registered students, which is what we want. Once the students have been moved, we can now click on save and confirm in order to save the register. So we save the register, we are good to go. Now we can close it. Now once you close, we now have the full gateway menu showing. This is because we've registered our period, and we've registered our student. So this is something you need to do every time before the other menu items would show. So once that is done, then we can proceed with the rest of the teacher administration. This is all we want to do now. That is looking at how we get started, or we kickstart as a teacher every term. And I'll go over the steps. So as a teacher, every term you have to look at your initial setup, and that involves the period registration and the student registration. In case you want to be sure, always look down here. It will show you whether you have period registered or not, and then if the other menu item does not appear for you but only student and setup, it means you've not registered the student, and you have to do that. Thank you, and see you in the next videos.